Most people simply use Cowork as a chatbot that has access to your files, which is great, but it will eventually kill your Claude usage, it'll drift off track, won't answer accurately, and isn't actually getting the most out of it. So in this video, I'm going to show you a simple Claude Cowork setup for construction projects that is going to make it 10 times better. I'll go into detail around the folder structure, the workflows, and the setup behind it. The fundamental principle behind this is that every construction task you do needs two types of context. You have your project context, which is the project, what's on the drawings, the contract, this project specifications, and then you have your business context or data layer. So these are things like your standard estimating rates, your standard commercial positions, and background about your company. When you get these two set up correctly, Claude will always have the background information it needs to correctly perform a task. The other thing we need to consider is different types of construction, documentation, and data need to be treated differently. The way you process a PDF set of drawings like this is fundamentally different to how you would process a contract or a Gantt chart. AI doesn't natively process these types of documentation well, so you have to actually train it or instruct it to deal with different types of different documents differently. That was a bit of a tongue twister, but basically the way you want it to read a drawing is differently to the way you want it to read a document, and we can actually build workflows for processing these different formats of construction information. So the system I'm going to explain has 3 layers, and I'm going to do some more videos on the specific tools you should use to store your data, but it really depends on you and your company and the existing tools you use. But layer number 1 is going to be your business context or data layer. Now, for this video, I'm going to be demoing this using a tool called Notion. Now, Notion is an online note-taking tool, but it has a good Claude MCP connection. So you can store all of your data, both text data like business processes and standard contract positions, and you can also create databases in Notion with cost information. Then when you go to customize connectors and you connect Notion into Claude, basically now any Claude chat you start or any Cowork project can access and read all this data. So for example, you have a cost library in here. Again, this is a super simplified example, but you could have a way more elaborate cost library with 5 or 10 different projects. They could all live in a database in Notion. Then in Claude, when you ask it, prepare a conceptual estimate for my project, it can go and read from this library of information. Now, this is, again, the business context layer. So any project you create within Cowork can read this same business layer of data. Then for every new project you work on, you create a Claude Cowork project. Now, what I see a lot of people using Cowork without the project features, but having a project in Cowork is basically Claude giving itself the ability to manage your project context. So simply click on the Projects tab under Cowork and click New Project. Then you select your project folder as the Cowork project. Then I select that, I change the name to the specific folder. So I'll call this Construction Project Example. And then I'll say, I want your help managing this construction project. You click create, and then Claude will now have access to every project within that folder. And then if you ever want to start a new chat for that project, you simply go back to the projects tab and select the folder you've created. Now, the third layer to this system is the actual project folder itself. So if you can imagine, this is a sample construction project folder where we have the contract, drawings, specifications, subcontractors, variation register, RFI register, whatever. However you structure your folders. I always add a 0.ai context folder, which has a text representation of every project document and a synthesis of all my construction drawings. Now, the way I set this up is every time I start a new project, I run my project indexer skill. And what my project indexer skill does is it takes every construction document, it generates this 0.a1 context, a 0.ai context. It goes through all my construction drawings. It creates a text-based summary of the construction drawings and processes them all individually. What this is going to do is the first time you run the project indexer skill, it's going to use a ton of tokens and consume a ton of data. But then every time when you query things from now on, it is going to be querying the markdown representation of the file rather than the actual PDF document itself. So it's going to use between 20 to 30 times less tokens when it does this. Now, with the way I've actually set this up to run is it's also going to create a summary tab of the drawings. So a list of all the individual drawings. It identifies all the cross references between drawings, and it splits all the drawings up into individual PDF documents with both a text representation and a lower resolution image. So AI can respond faster and more accurately and quickly find the information it needs and identify all of the cross references. Now, I've done a couple of videos on this specific project indexer process and basically how to set up that project knowledge base for your specific construction project. So I'm not going to dive into more detail here. But if you do want this project indexer skill, then I'll put a link to where you can access it in our Contractor OS community designed to help construction companies quickly implement AI and actually get the most out of it. Okay, so those are your 3 context layers. You've got your business context. Again, it doesn't have to be Notion. Notion is just a great tool that I use a lot for my own business, so I really like it. But it could be Google Drive. You could have other tools that access this. The key is you need to have a Claude connector that can access this data. If you're a bit more tech savvy and creative, you can actually use GitHub to do this as well. And it has some much cooler implications when you move on to using a tool like Claude Code. Now, when you have these 3 different layers of context, it is very important that for specific tasks you do, you either explicitly prompt Claude where to get the information it needs, or you build these into repeatable workflows called skills. So for example, I have a library of different skills for different construction workflows. And within any skill I create, I'm going to touch on this a little bit more in a second, I will explicitly explain to Claude where it has to go to look for the data and information it needs to do the task. Because when you just prompt Claude to do something, it doesn't necessarily know that you have this Notion database with all of your business context. You always have to explicitly tell Claude where that information lives, or to make your life easy, pre-build that into a skill. Okay, so business context you can think of as the specifics of how your company does construction. So within your business context, you should always have some high-level background information. So what your construction company is, the types of work you do, who your typical clients are, what is your typical type of project. Then really you can make this, like the other way to think about this is I'll give you some examples of what should be in your business context, but you really just have to think if you were engaging, say you want to get Claude Cowork to prepare an estimate. What background information would you want your estimator to know before they do the task? Now, the only added complexity here, which you have to think a little bit more about, is when you actually hire an electrical estimator who's got experience in renewable energy. They have all this background information. You can just tell them that you're an electrical contractor tendering this type of work, and with their 10 years experience, there's going to be so much background information they have. With AI, you have to be much more explicit about what you tell it. Remember, you're getting a tool that has been trained on Reddit, all the data and the information, YouTube videos, basically just everything that ever exists. It's designed to do everything from marketing to writing code. So when we actually develop our business context, we want a lot more data in there. We basically want it to basically, what someone has collected over 10 years of experience when we hire an estimator, we have to think through what is all that data and put that into our business context that they read. So again, this is just an example. This is an oversimplified example, but a typical business context, you'd actually want a lot more in there. So you want things like your standard contract positions, what clauses you accept, what clauses you'd push back on. For example, you only accept a 12-month defect liability period. Obviously, when you do a contract review, this is what your contract review skill will then pull. It will say, what is our typical contract position on defects liability? Then when you prepare a departures register, it'll say, we only accept 12 months defect liability period. It says, never accept pay when paid clauses. So these are basically your contract rules. Again, if you wanted to do contract reviews, then you need some contract reviews. You want estimating principles, so processes for how you actually want Claude to prepare construction estimates. So for example, when you're doing a takeoff, only measure the primary quantities, sanity check the primary quantities, and then derive your secondary quantities from our secondary quantity and assembly database. You could have typical profit margins and markup ranges. You could have confidence tagging, so you want high, medium, and low when it's measuring takeoffs. Again, this is in the business context, but you could also replicate some of this in your specific workflows. You could have you could have your production rate library. Again, this is where you want stuff in your business context is whether your production rate library that will be used when you prepare a schedule or prepare an estimate, because two different workflows are drawing on it. It should sit within your business context rather than your project context. Now, another good thing to have in your business context is decision rules. When to basically let AI make a decision or proceed with something, and when you want it to explicitly check with you. The other thing that I think is always very important to put in here is your voice and writing standards. The biggest one I would put in there always is you want AI to be concise. The thing with Claude is you ask it to review a contract, it returns a 10-page contract review summary that is longer than the actual contract itself. For some reason, Claude is incredibly verbose, so always having an instruction in here around basically making sure that when it's doing something, it's doing it concisely and to the point, and it's not waffling on, is always going to be much better. Now, the beauty of this is this business context then stays live. So your project gets live access to this as you go. Some key things like writing rules and writing standards, you want it to pull into your O0.ai context folder. So you actually pull this information when you first run the project indexer skill. You pull in things like the writing standards and rules when you run the project indexer skill, which will basically, all these key instructions you want in all of those chats, they go into this O0.ai context. And this would all live in your Claude.md file, which gets created when you first run that project indexer skill. So for example, this is a very oversimplified one, but this just simply has the overall, this in the Claude.md file, which Claude reads every time it performs a task in Cowork. You have the overall architecture of where information lives. You have some operating rules, for example, always answer concisely and to the point, and confirm before overriding and deleting things. Again, this is overly simplified. Your one in practice would be bigger and contain a synthesis of all the documents and where to find the information it needs. I guess the point with this business context layer is you have a single source of truth for your business that anyone using AI, Claude, even if they're not using it within Cowork, but they're using it in chats, this becomes all the data they need to do any specific tasks. And because Notion makes it so easy to have team members and to share the data within Notion itself, that simply through having Claude connectors to all these different tools, it makes it very simple to share this business context. Now, the next layer of this is then to actually open Cowork within the specific project folder, and within your project in Cowork, you can have memory turned on. So basically, Claude is going to build up a working memory in addition to the memory you explicitly tell it to have. So the Cowork projects, this is a very, very useful feature, as you could basically go and do longer, messier tasks. And every time you create a new chat, it'll remember certain things that it deems relevant to happen in this chat. Okay, the next thing we do is we obviously run the project indexer skill. And again, I'll put a link in the description of the video I did explaining the skill and explaining why it's so valuable. But again, you can just grab this in our Contractor OS community that I'll put a link to in the description. But creating this O0.ai context folder is going to have your Claude.md file, which are your overall instructions for every chat. Then it's also going to create this project.md file. This project.md file has a big summary of the project snapshot. It has information about the contract, the payment terms, basically everything within the documents. It creates this high-level structured summary of that information. Again, so every time Claude does a task, it can quickly get an overall summary of the project and maintain a much better working knowledge of what's happening. Now, in addition to this, you have your memory.md file, which is basically an addition to the Claude memory, where you can create a skill that at the end of each chat you run, it creates a summary of the conversation. And then you have your drawings.md file, which is basically a high-level overview of all the drawings and what to find in each construction drawing. Now, the next thing to talk about is once you actually set up your project data like this, how do you actually prompt Cowork? Well, prompting Cowork is a little bit different than prompting in a typical chat. When you prompt Cowork, because it's got access to so much context and information, you want to be explicit about where you find information. So you could say something like, using my cost library in Notion, please prepare a conceptual estimate for this project. So the key really with prompting Cowork is you just want to tell it where to look for certain information. Again, You can do this within the prompt, or you can do this within a pre-built skill that you create. So for example, if I create another chat where it's just going through and preparing this estimate, if I just say, so if I say review the contract, that would be a bad prompt. But if I say review the contract against my standard terms in Notion, that would be a better prompt again, because it's just, you have to remember, like, Claude will probably have 3 or 4 connectors. There's so many different sources of information you can look for. You just always want to make sure that in the prompt or the workflow you create, there is explicit instruction about where the information you're looking for is. Now, you obviously can do this within the prompt itself, or you can do this by pre-building a workflow using a skill. So I have a whole lot of pre-built skills I've created for different construction management tasks. So for example, when I tell Claude to create an operations maintenance manual at the end of the project, it has an explicit set of instructions it follows that tells it what information it needs to get this, where to get this information, and what output format to do it. So to structure it in a Word document with these explicit headings and what information to include under each of these headings. So for this example, it's telling it to build the project context, to find this information. If it can't find this information, to ask the user, to source the individual information about the different products, and basically compile this all into a Word document with these specific headings. So I won't talk anymore about skills, because I've done a couple of videos on skills, and I'll put a link to them in the video description if you want to watch a more detailed guide on basically how to create a skill. But long story short, to build a skill, you really want to understand the input information and context you need. What is the workflow, or what is the data transformation that you want Claude to do? And then what is the output format you want it in? The other thing you can do in Cowork, now I personally don't use this much because scheduled tasks in Cowork have a big limitation, and that is for them to run, you need to leave your computer on. But you can create these automated routine tasks, the classic one being a daily brief, where every day it runs a scheduled task where it looks at all the project information and sends you a report. I personally don't think scheduled tasks in Cowork are that useful, because basically you have to have your computer on and running for it to do that. I think the much better way to do this is to actually use Claude Code and set up a workflow or a routine that can run where the information on the workflow is in GitHub, and it can run even when your computer isn't on. Much more useful, much more powerful. And I've done a video on Claude routines and some examples, and I've got a few more coming. So again, I'm not going to talk about those here, but that unfortunately you can't do in Cowork. You have to do in code. Now, again, the real power of Claude, or the way I see it, is that you can actually connect all of your different software to Claude. So for example, I have Airtable, Canva, I have GitHub, I've got my Google Drive, my Gmail, I've got Notion, I've got Smartsheet, I've got a whole lot of tools connected to it. And through this process of Claude connectors, basically you can add anything you want to add and connect the software, and then Claude will also have access to all the data within that. So the best ones I think are Notion, which you can sort of have as your business context layer. Google Drive, if you use the Google features, again, you could do that in there. GitHub is really powerful if you're willing to play around with Claude Code, and I'll do some more videos on that. But GitHub I actually think is the best option for a lot of people. But then the other one that's useful is the actual Google Calendar integration. But again, I use Google, but if you use Outlook, just replace Google Drive with SharePoint or Gmail with Outlook. Okay, a few things about guardrails is it's good in your Claude.md when you set that up to actually have in there some instructions about when it can do certain things and when it has to ask permission. That should go into your Claude.md file, and it should also ask for approval before deleting things. Now, the next one is token usage. I will often, for typical easy tasks, you shouldn't be using Opus. You should be using Sonnet, which is the quicker, more responsive everyday task. But if it's really simple tasks like just extracting information from drawings, you can even use Haiku. Opus is the most expensive model, so it will use a lot more tokens when it runs, when Haiku is faster and more efficient, and Sonnet is the good one in between. So basically any sort of just like standard data transformation task, I think it is more than fine to just use Sonnet or even Haiku if it's just extracting stuff from information. But as I said, if you really want to start to build automations and run autonomous tasks, then that is when you need to shift from Claude to Claude Code. So I'll talk about this separately in another video, but really, if you're using Claude Code, you want to start using GitHub to integrate it into it.